Hey, what's up guys? TheLastOfKobra here. Today I just wanted to make a short video before I check in for the night. This video is basically just some quality of life stuff I would like to see for Injustice 2, such as just make the game a little more cohesive and more fun. So, for the first thing, I would like to see them add in maybe a future patch or something. Would be the ability to buy multiple of these boxes at one time. So, like for instance, when you press 2 or you press triangle or Y on the Xbox controller, you're able to buy multiple, and then do the standard how you decode them. So you decode them like this, and look, I got a legendary Supergirls. Oh, got a player icon too, and then you decode the next one. But it would be nice also if you could put an option here so you could, like when you're done opening them, you could buy them as well. Or I know a lot of other games have it, like I think Forza has it too, like after you've done all your wheel spins, you can still buy more from right here. Just makes it a little bit easier when you're just grinding out all the stuff. So that's my first change. Alright, the second change I would put in Injustice 2 would be the ability to buy character specific mother boxes. So let's say for example a bronze mother box usually gives you like 2 items, right? Let's say you have a bronze Harley Quinn mother box. Now if you play Harley Quinn and you have character bios on, I think these should drop, and the gear will be for Harley Quinn. And whether it's epic and that stuff's still rare and stuff like that, you know. So when you do get an epic, it's amazing when it pops out. So let's just say this would be a Harley Quinn mother box. You open it, 2 items come out. They would both be for Harley Quinn. In this case, it's both for Red Hood. That's a pretty coincidence. Usually that doesn't happen, but and then the chances or the chances or whatever of maybe getting a common are a little bit less, because I get a lot of commons and I get like a lot of rares, and usually there are a bunch of duplicates on my epics too, which really sucks. It's like, you got an epic, but it's a duplicate. So I would kind of nerf that. I don't think you should be getting as many duplicates, because it seems like such a grind to get a full set. I'm still working on the full set for Batman, and I've been playing this game non-stop since it came out, and I'm like level 65 online, and I've been playing the multiverse constantly, and I do not have a full set for anybody. I have a lot of cool little pieces for each and every character, and then characters I don't even play, I have like a cajillion epics. It's just weird. So I understand, rare and keep the game alive for a long period of time, and it's a really awesome feature, but I wish there was a way to grind specifically towards the character you're working on and be able to get that gear for that character, and it's like you're working towards a goal instead. It's already random enough, and with a huge character roster it just becomes more random, and every character has so many gear pieces. So that's another thing I would like to see. Okay, another thing. Okay, so if we go here to the inventory, just bear with me for a second. Let's go to the inventory on a character. It's just another little thing I would like to see, which I'm pretty sure they'll add eventually. Look, I already got 100 pieces on Black Canary. That's crazy. So let's go to her inventory. Alright, so another thing I'd like to see is the ability to sell all her rares and commons or something like that in bulk. So you could just be like, highlight all rare, highlight all commons, sell, boom, highlight all rares, boom, sell. That's just, it's not a big deal, because as you can see, it's really quick to like you can do it really quick to highlight all of them, but it's still kind of annoying, because I'll let this thing build up and then I'll sell all of them. But really, the only thing I'm keeping is the epics, unless some of these look really crazy, but I've already looked through all of them. And they're common anyway, so they'll drop anyway if I accidentally sell one that looks cool. So sell those. So something like that. I didn't even know I hit max on her. I'll look through some of these pieces, because some of those I just did the tower with her. That's why she got so many. So that's one thing. That's another thing I would like to see. Also, now there is a rumored balance patch in the making. Well, there's a couple things coming out. One, Ed Boon actually said in an interview that we should be getting a trailer very soon for Comet Pack 2, which I'm extremely excited for. So we'll see what 3 characters we're going to be getting on that. Okay, another thing, just character changes I would like to see. To be honest, I think a lot of the characters are fine. A lot of the characters are in a really good spot. Like, they're pretty even. That's why you see so many different character choices at Evo and CEO. And it's a very good, diverse roster of characters you see in top 8. So, starting with Sub-Zero. Now, Sub-Zero is very new, so it's hard to say what he needs, like, changes to. I love the way he plays. I would like to make his his command setup, the string that starts it that only links in his command grab. I think that's fine. The first hit being a high, but I think the command grab itself should hit mid. I know they probably changed that. I know why it's not mid. I guess is because on wake up he could get a full combo, and that would probably seem really ridiculous. But maybe give it 0 invincibility frames or make it a little bit slower. But he's pretty solid. I guess you could say he's ice solid. Anyway, next character, Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing is really good. I think he's still pretty underrated. Not a lot of people play him at the professional level. The only changes I think he really needs is a lot of his stuff is real wonky with his jump in. He's like the only character off of jump in 4. He cannot get, or sorry, jump in 3. He can't really get anything off of it, whereas pretty much the whole cast can get at least a little string in. So I think that could use some reworking. I would do something with his trait to where he can control where he puts it, so you could actually place it on your opponent. And I would just reduce the startup on some of his strings just by a little bit. Once he does get rolling, he's a fucking pain in the ass, and he hits really hard. And he doesn't even need to spend meter. Basically, he just spends meter on his pressure. So I think he's still underrated. So I don't want to say that they should change him too much, but that's what I would change. Cyborg. This guy is I think he's pretty underrated too, and I think he's in a really good spot. I think he's actually fine. He's better than he was in Injustice 2. And he's actually a really good zoner. He can actually zone out Deadshot in some cases. So, I think he's fine. Okay, Catwoman. Catwoman, the only thing I think she's pretty fair. I mean, she's definitely top tier. But they should just fix her hitbox on when you do like a back 3. It'll freaking low profile mid shots. It's ridiculous. And she'll get a full punish off of it. And maybe change her back 3 a little bit. It's hard to say. It's hard to say with her because you don't want to hurt her too much because her normals don't have a lot. Well, her normals don't have. Maybe just nerf her jump in whip or the sweep a little bit because the sweep is like freaking mid screen, and her jump into is like ridiculous. So you cannot jump in the air at this chick. She'll just hit you out of the air with a whip like. So. Flash. Alright, so Flash is a pretty good character. Once he gets in your face, he's a mixed monster. I play against a really good Flash all the time, and we were in long ass sets, and he is really good. So Flash for me is hard to say what they should change. I think he is about mid tier. I don't think he's like high tier, but I think he's definitely mid, because once he gets in your face, he hits hard. But if you can keep him out, he can't do shit, and it's hard for him to get in. So if you have a character like Cyborg, to keep him out pretty good. Captain Cold has a decent wake up and can keep him out. So, but overall, I think he's pretty decent. He has a good wake up, has a good game. I don't know too much what to change with him. To be honest, I think he's fine. Basically in this. Basically what we're going to be doing is just nerfing down the top tiers. Green Lantern. Green Lantern is good. His character is underrated. He's got some amazing setups. These are like over 30 different kind of crazy setups you can do. Harley Quinn, freaking phenomenal. Really good character. In a good spot, not too OP. Pretty balanced, pretty well in my opinion. Batman. I feel like they should change something with him, but he's a really hard character for me to pick out and be like, they should change that. That's what they should change. Because he doesn't really have mix. All his combos are off a low or his forward 3, which you can react to his forward 3. It's a pretty good forward 3, but it's slow. So you can react to it. He doesn't have an overhead that he can combo off of. So he basically only gets mix when he has bats out and when he can get jump ins and the vortex going. Once he gets that shit going, it's just his trait is so solid that it gives him so many tools. Just his trait alone gives him mix, vortex, crazy setups. He has full screen presence with one bat out. It's freaking ridiculous. So I would say maybe nerf his trait a little bit. Maybe make it to where he starts with no bats or one bat, and then as the fight progresses, he gains bats, and maybe make it after he uses them, they stay gone longer. But it's hard to say what to nerf because if you nerf too much, nobody's gonna play him. And I think he's in a weird spot. I think if you just adjusted his trait a little bit, I think he'd be a little bit lower down, but still pretty fair. Because when he has bats out, there's still ways around to work around his bats. You can push block him and you only need to hit him one time and then his bats are gone. But so he's in a weird spot. But I feel like if a little slight adjustment to his trait and he'd be fine. Like the lower tiers, basically what we want to do is nerf the high tiers. Just adjust a little bit, not nerf. I hate saying that word. But adjust the high tiers just a little bit, so that way the low tiers are actually inadvertently moved up. So, Red Hood. I think Red Hood is in a really good spot. Probably the most fair character in Injustice 2, in my opinion. The most fair, without a doubt. Red Hood, keep him the same. He's got some cool setups, but he has to work hella hard to get him out. And if you do and you master this character, it pays off really good. Superman, I actually think Superman is fine. People are starting to figure out ways around his pressure and all that crap. He is very brain dead and easy to use. You can pick this character up and learn him really quick. I'm not saying that top level players that play Superman are trash. I'm just saying it's easy to pick this character up and learn how to play him. And he does have his bad matchups, but he's still really solid, and I think he's fine. Joker's in a pretty good spot. I think Joker's fine. I think he's also underrated, and a lot of people don't play him, but he's actually really good. And Sonic Fox has shown that. Atrocitus. I actually think Atrocitus is fine. As time is progressing through the Injustice's life cycle, a lot of people are figuring out to save meter, push block Dexstar. You can you don't even have to deal with his mix. You can push block right before the overhead comes out and completely reset and just keep him out and zone him away. Obviously he is a good counter zoner though, and you do not want to trade counter zoning with him. So he's in a... I think he's okay. I think I would just... I think he's fine, actually, to be honest. I think he's fine. You block a low puddle, you freaking get a full punish on this guy. They took away his grab where he could get a full combo off of just a grab. So they did fix him. And yeah, I don't want to say nerf Dexstar because basically his whole tool revolves around Dexstar. He cannot mix you. His normals aren't as good forward advancing as a lot of the characters. So I mean, he is still pretty solid. So there is other characters that can easily out footsie him and freaking mess him up, like Scarecrow and Robin, for example. That's what I meant to say. So also, okay, moving on to Gorilla Grodd. Now, Gorilla Grodd, I believe, is pretty solid. To be honest, I don't play this character that much, so I can't say that much about him. I think a lot of people are sleeping on him, though. There's a player that plays him professionally. I can't think of his name right now, but he's really good. But I feel like he has to work his ass off just to fucking make him work, and I know he wants to. So I feel like this character can maybe use a few adjustments just slightly, and he'd be really good. Cheetah, same thing with Cheetah. I think she could use a couple adjustments, but I think people are underrating her too. I don't know much about her, so I can't say. Deadshot. Okay, Deadshot. Dickshot. This character is pretty good, but only full screen. And only full screen. But he does have good 50-50s up close. But he has to be right in front of your face for those 50-50s to connect. You can easily just take a step back. If you have a good forward advancing normal, use that and get a full combo punish on this guy. Every time. Every time. You gotta air dash over his projectiles a lot of times. Meter burn roll is kind of sucky against him, but easily you can just counterpick Deadshot. Dr. Fate can actually outzone Deadshot. You can actually use Superman against Deadshot pretty effectively. I've actually used Red Hood really effectively against Deadshot, so I think he's actually fine. If anything, I would just nerf the pushback on his low gunshot where it's down back 3. I just think the pushback on that is ridiculous. It pushes you back so far after you work so hard to get in, pushes you all the way back. Or just nerf how much meter he builds off his gunshots, because he builds meter really quick with those. So, Poison Ivy, good character, really good spot. I believe she's pretty balanced. Alright, Supergirl. Thing with Supergirl is she has some of the best like vortex cross up stuff that she can do. She's really good, but the problem is she lacks the damage. Otherwise, she's a very good character. I think the only thing that you should do is buff her damage up a little bit. I know that in the beta she was doing crazy damage, and they nerfed it to hell. It's really, really low now. I think they need to buff it back up. It's just too low. Green Arrow. I think Green Arrow's in a good spot. Let's just say that. I think he's in a really good spot. It's a good character. If you like that type of zoning and mind games and stuff, he's got some really awesome combos and stuff. He's fine. So he's fine. Dr. Fate. I wanted to originally main this character, but I've never really messed with him other than day 1 when the game first came out, and it wasn't my playstyle. They turned him into a big zoner character, and I just that's not what I wanted to play, really. It's not what I had in mind for Dr. Fate, but that's what he is. So it didn't work out between us, sorry, bro. But I don't know what else they should. I don't really know what they should change with this character. I think Pig of the Hut is the only one that plays him. I don't even know if he still plays him. I think he just switched to Atrocitus and only plays Atrocitus now. Alright, Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle, I think the only thing he really needs is when he activates his trait, he gets the Scarab Arms. I think they should give him some other strings to do. Kind of like how Red Hood has different strings, so he can give him some kind of mix-up. I think Blue Beetle needs that. Maybe to where he can't combo off of them, but they lead into a knockdown where he can do some kind of cool setup and stuff. Otherwise, I think he's fine. He has some of the best mobility in the game. He can actually really mess up Deadshot, and it's crazy. So, Firestorm, I think people are sleeping on Firestorm. Has a really good wake up, has good footsie tools, good forward advancing moves, really good damage. Maybe his trait needs to be a little bit reworked, because I feel like it runs out way too quick, and by the time I do get it, I don't even get to use it that much. I think it charges fine, so I usually end up being able to put it on really quick. I just think it needs to last longer when you do go all. What happens is you get three bars for his trait, and you spend it, and you gain health. And the health amount is, I think that's okay, but I think it should last like significantly longer. I would say like 50% longer. Aquaman. This character needs a tweak. I don't know what to say about him to nerf, because I don't want this character to be unplayable, but from a spectator perspective, sorry about that, he is boring as hell for me to watch. He's just super boring. It's fucking Trident Rush. Like the whole time when anybody plays him, and you literally, if you want to learn Aquaman, you can learn him so quick. He's easy to learn. You just do back 1, 2, 3 if they're blocking the whole thing, into Trident, which was his down, forward 1, and you'll do Trident Rush and EX, and that gives you like a free 20% every time just through chip alone. And then if it hits, you get like 300 damage, which is like 25%, 30%. So I don't know exactly what and he has one of the arguably one of the best traits in the game. He has Clash, so he can break. He has so many ways out of combos. He's a real defensive character. I don't know what to say to change on this guy, because if he changes trait, he's pretty screwed. I don't know, there's gotta be something with him. Don't really know what to change with him. Maybe just, I guess reduce the chip by a lot from Trident Rush, so that way we don't see so many games ending from Trident Rush being like you just get chipped out by Trident Rush. And you pretty much have to hold Trident Rush because you don't know if they're going to EX it or not. Or they can do it and move forward and backward to make it safe. So he's still got mind games and stuff. And another thing I would change is from the deep. I don't know why Firestorm has to adjust the distance of his Molten Trap, but this guy doesn't. It's auto tracking, and you could roll in, meter burn roll in. You just spin a bar. He can, from the deep, catch you out of your meter burn roll and get a full combo for a bar, and you already wasted a bar. It's the freaking worst trade ever. So I would say make him have to judge from the deep, but maybe have a good hitbox on it. So he still has to make that read, but I think it would be more fair. Black Canary I think is fine. She definitely has some of the best mix and vortex in the game. I'm actually Black Canary main and Captain Cold, so I think she's fine. Darkseid. Darkseid's good damage, good zoning abilities, good, decent mix-ups. He sucks when you get in his face. You can really screw him over. So he has a weakness, he has his advantages. I think he's fine. He has a lot of recovery on his eye lasers, so if you meter burn roll in, you can actually get a full punish. Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman I think is underrated. A lot of people sleeping on her too. I don't know too much about her. I haven't played her that much, so I can't say that much about her, but I think she's fine where she's at. I know once people start messing with her more. The only thing I would change is give her the ability to control which of her buffs that she gets through her character trait. I don't know why they took this from Harley and gave it to Wonder Woman, where her trait is random. When you pop trait, you get a random buff and you gotta improvise. I think that's stupid, and it's like a gamble thing. You might be wanting that one trait, that one specific buff, and you get something else, and now you gotta make that shit work on the fly. And for a tournament that's just randomness, does not work. You want to limit random shit like that happening if you want to win. That's just the bottom line. Alright, now Black Adam. Black Adam I think is fine. His wake up sucks. He doesn't really have a wake up. You can always beat him out of it. You can always stuff it and get a full combo. He has really ridiculously high damage. The only thing I think they need to do is nerf his damage and make his trait not be able to kill. His trait should not be able to kill you. It's the most stupid thing to see in a tournament, when this trait, he just waits full screen, pops it, meter burn rolls in, you're dead. Or he can just run into you. It's retarded. It's not fun to watch. So I think the only thing they really need to do is make his to where his trait just hits you to critical, can't kill you, but it can get you down to that one life or whatever. And it'll just make him play more smart with it. He could still kill you with it. Just meter burn roll in and almost kill you and then just tap you or whatever. But and then just nerf his damage a little bit. He gets some of the highest damage of the game. He gets, I think, like he has like 50% with one bar. So literally 4 combos, you're dead. Basically, he can come back. It's ridiculous. Most characters got to spend like 2 bars a meter to get that kind of damage. So I would just say nerf that. He can anti-air you for like 400, 450 damage. So just off of down 2. Just thinking his damage tweak. Just nerf his damage a little bit. He's definitely top tier, and I think he'd be fine. He still has mix. He still has good zoning tools. And they're actually like anti-zoning because they knock down on hit. So anyway, alright, Captain Cold. Alright, this is my main. Captain Cold, Mr. Freeze. Okay. The only thing I really want to see with this character is make his his 1-2 string, which is the overhead link into Ice Puddle, and either rework his traits to where it charges faster when I'm charging it, or give the ability for me to give it some kind of mind game where I can charge it and dash cancel out of it. They have a dash cancel out of it, but it has so much recovery it doesn't even feel like a cancel. Like I'm like charging it, and it makes it to where I have to almost have a whole bar of trait charged up before I can dash cancel out of it. I think I should be able to dash cancel out of it early, so make it like a mind game thing where I'm charging it so they go for the punish, and I use my good, he has a really good forward advancing string, so I forward advancing and I punish like with Ice Puddle and get a full combo. So they either do that or make his trait to where it's like Firestorms and it builds up over time. That shit. And I think that would be good. And I think it'd be fine. Make his 1-2 string, which is his overhead, be able to link an Ice Puddle. And a lot of people are probably gonna hate that, but otherwise that'd probably put him really good. I don't know. If they don't do that, at least do something with this trait, because this trait, it's really good. His trait's really, really strong. But it's like, you have to sacrifice so much just to charge it. You have to look for every little opportunity just to charge it by the time you're usually dead, because you got full comboed. And with trying to keep people out and zoning, a lot of this game is very zone heavy. It's hard to just sit full screen and charge your gun. And you can put Ice Puddle and hide behind it, but if somebody's got a gun, he's just gonna shoot you across the screen and you're gonna be getting hit. You're not gonna be able to charge your gun. You could drop the Ice Block, but the Ice Block goes away in one hit. A lot of characters have multi-hit and projectiles. Goes right through it, stops you from charging your gun. So there's not a whole lot you can do. You gotta really charge your gun on knockdowns or like knock away ice walls, and you basically spend in meter just to charge a trait, so then you can trait, then use meter to combo. It's too much. Maybe just a trait rework and he'd be fine. He has some of the best setups in the corner, by the way. Unblockable setups for days. You can even do them like mid screen and stuff like that. So another thing. Okay, Robin. I think Robin's really good. I think once the top tiers are balanced down, Robin will definitely be up there. He has good mix. He has good strings. He has good reach on his abilities. I like how you can end strings in your batarang toss, and the trajectory of it will make them block it, and you're plus a lot, and you go for another mix. I think it's really cool, really fun playstyle. I like playing as him. Oh, sorry, my freaking shoulders hurt. Gym earlier. Okay. Sorry about that. So, Scarecrow. Scarecrow, he is fine. He has a wake up now. He has good moves. If anything, White Boy proved that as CEO, that Scarecrow is not bottom tier like a lot of people thought. A lot of people were sleeping on this character. I don't play him, so I have no idea if they should change anything. I think he's honestly fine the way he is. Maybe just take some startup frames off his teleport. I know his teleport is horrible. There's pretty much no reason to teleport. You can always get hit out of it. So maybe just take the startup out of it. It's like the startup's like 70. I think it should be around like 30 maybe. It should be way lower. Or like Supergirls. So, I mean, you can teleport right into your front of your face, but you can stuff him because his startup on his strings are pretty... I don't know. I would just say no, just reduce the startup a little bit on his teleport if you were going to change something. A lot of people are going to probably disagree with that, but I think that would be fair. Once he'd definitely be up there in top tier. But also, White Boy is a phenomenal player, so sometimes it's not the character. I know a lot of people don't understand this, but they don't give enough credit to the actual player. The player played his heart out. He was a master, and he made that character work, and I truly believe that. So, anyway, next character, Bane. Okay, Bane, I think is good. Good damage, good like mind games he can do with his command grabs and stuff like that. Armored full screen charge, it is punishable, so his gap closer is punishable. It feels like he does have to work. It's a very zone heavy meta, So I don't really know what they could change. Maybe just give his back three a little bit more range, so he could kind of charge in and maybe cancel in back three and get a full combo. Um, Other than that, I think he's pretty fine. I mean, probably when you nerf the top tiers, it'd be even better, so I probably wouldn't make no adjustments to him. Okay, Brainiac. This is the last character. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Brainiac. Perfect Legends showed he had a phenomenal Brainiac, and I actually think Brainiac has some really cool vortex, kind of like mix-up things that he can do and setups. So I actually think Brainiac's fine. I just think people haven't studied him enough, and he'll come out with some new stuff. He has good wake up and everything. So yeah, I think Brainiac's fine. Once the top tiers get nerfed down a little bit, Brainiac would go up. So I believe with those changes right there. Sorry it's turned out to be a long video, but is a lot of stuff to cover. Overall, the game is basically just nerf the top tiers a little bit, and the low tiers will go up. Maybe change the very bottom tiers, like Captain Cold and Swamp Thing, a tad, and that would help them out a little bit to be around with mid tier. So basically, make everybody mid tier, and then it comes down to the player. So I don't believe there is a crazy winning matchup in this game. It's actually more balanced in my opinion than MKX was or Injustice 1. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the video. I know it's pretty long, but wanted to get this filmed, going to the doctor's tomorrow, and wanted to get this filmed for over the weekend. So hope you guys enjoy the video, and as always, leave a like, comment, subscribe, greatly appreciate it. And if you made it to the end of the video, just say Assalamu alaikum in the comments below. Alright, as always, take care of yourselves and each other. Cobra, out.